Hello, and welcome to the fifth episode of Staying in the Conversation. Today's topic is soul contract and I am statements. I'm going to first read, so I might be looking down over here. I'm going to read exactly what it is a soul contract is to me. But like I've said many times before, this isn't a one size fits all. So just before I read, I'll give a sort of a bit of a backstory. So a contract in and of itself is a commitment that you make, but usually between you and your employer or something like that, between you and someone, that you've created this contract, this commitment that you are going to be, you know, this person in this job, you're going to take on this role and you're committing to 6 months or 1 year and you're committing to this role, if you will. So we know about contracts in that terms, or like if you're redoing your kitchen, you would sign a contract. The person who's redoing your kitchen will sign a contract and you'll sign it too. That you've agreed to pay them, that's your commitment, and they've agreed to do your kitchen in a certain way. So what a soul contract is and where it kind of differs, and also where it's similar. So where it differs is that it's not between you and someone, it's between you and you. So it's between yourself and yourself. But whether the contract part of it stays the same, it's still a commitment. And I think it's by far the most important commitment you will ever make in your lifetime on your spiritual journey. So let me read. You and your commitment to yourself are a vital and important part of any true transformation. But you are not alone. You have the power of the universe with you, continually guiding you and helping you. You may call this intuition or inner wisdom or inner knowing, God, source, all that is, or another name. Trying to go it alone without the power of all that is on your side, while you may reach your goal, will leave you exhausted, burnt out, and empty. Putting your hand firmly in the hand of all that is, taking responsibility whilst absolutely knowing that you are not responsible, and doing this in partnership will bring you the joy, peace, and love that makes what you have worthwhile and lights you up from the inside out. I invite you to make a commitment right now to step up for yourself in a very powerful way with the power of all that is with you. I invite you to feel into the energy of the intention and commitment that you set for yourself. And so I've got my own commitments and intentions that I've set for myself, and I'll continue reading on what they are, and you can either copy them as they are, or you can create your own. I do think that there is an element of there is an importance, maybe not element, but there is an importance of creating your own commitments that are personal to your life, because you're more likely to stick to something that is personal to you than something that I created for me. My commitment to me, I commit to choosing me by investing time and energy and focus into my transformation. I commit to always give time, energy, and focus to one task at a time. I am always present in the present moment. I am focused on my surroundings. I give time, energy, and focus to my relationship with God and myself. Again, with the words God, if you hear it in anything I've written, that is the power behind life, source, energy, the universal power, whatever word works for you. Even science can work. I always finish the things I start. I commit to being all in with the tasks I'm given or that I choose to undertake. I complete all things with love, joy, and ease. I am one with the universe. The universe is an integral part of me, and I am an integral part of the universe. We are one. I stand solid in my conviction that there is only one energy. This one energy breathes life into me and allows me to see the true miracle that I am and the true miracle that the world is. I commit to not listening to my ego's voice when it says this isn't working or I can't do it, and turn towards all that is and start to create the evidence for how the work I am doing is creating positive change and miracles. I commit to not listening or acting from my ego's voice when it says I've already done this, and turn towards all that is and step forward with renewed perspective and intention. I commit to taking full responsibility for myself, my thoughts, my words, and my actions, knowing that I have a wealth of inspiration and guidance around me, but that I am the one who creates my own transformation. I commit to speak words of love, growth, compassion, and gratitude. If at any point I forget this, I commit to forgive myself and turn to God, the divine source of all that I am, and again speak words of love, growth, compassion, and gratitude. I commit to remind myself on a daily basis of the true miracle that I am. I commit to always follow the good feeling, allowing myself the space and time to fully be me in all my forms. I commit to knowing deeply that I have the power of the universe with me. I am the allness of everything, and simultaneously I am nothing, no thing. So that's part of my contract that I've written to myself, just to give you an idea of what it is I'm talking about when I mention soul contract, to give you a starting point, if you will. And I really, really love this. And over the past few days, I've been reading this to myself, and I've also done a recording for myself where I can then listen to it sort of on repeat, first thing when I wake up and last thing before I go to sleep. And what this does for me is it really sets the groundwork, it sets the foundations that I've been talking about in other videos, in other episodes of staying in this conversation. So it really grounds that foundation. It's like the building blocks of this foundation that I've spoken about before. So listening to this on repeat and consistently having it there and really feeling into everything I've written and feeling it, not just having it written there like, oh, I commit to doing this and it's just words off a page, like genuinely feeling in, one of them somewhere else in my little book. One of them is I commit to being patient, or I am patient. And it's deeply feeling that patience. It's like in the moment where I'm feeling impatient, softening that impatience for patience. Because in my contract to myself, I say I'm patient. In my contract to myself, I say if I forget any of these things, if I forget to speak words of love, growth, compassion, and gratitude, I commit to forgive myself, turn to that power behind life, and then go back to speaking words of love and kindness. So this isn't a sort of space for you to berate yourself and say, oh, well, I can't stick to it. I'm not going to stick to something like this. And that's absolutely fine if journaling isn't your thing. You could record it, you could just meditate on it. Even that is just as powerful. Whatever it is, in whichever way you choose to do a soul contract or something similar, it will just lay down sort of the brickwork of your foundations on your spiritual journey to consciously create a life of peace, love, and freedom. So I just wanted to talk about I am statements because that's the second part of this title. So with I am statements, they are very, very powerful things. And we speak into existence what it is we are and who we are and our personality and our life and whether our life is for us or against us. We speak it into reality when we say I am. We say I am not good enough. I am bad at writing. I am ugly. I am slow. I am short. I am whatever I am stupid. Every time we put I am at the beginning of a sentence and complete that sentence, we are creating our reality. We are creating ourselves in that image. So when we change it and we put a conscious spin on it, because we're unconsciously creating things all the time. We don't have to learn to create. There was this study done, I think, in the 1950s, on either 1950s or 60s, something like that, maybe even 70s, where so NASA done this study. They were trying to find geniuses so then they could hire them for NASA. And they had a group of, I think, 4 or 5-year-olds, and they discovered that 80% of them were qualified as geniuses. And because the reason they were qualified as geniuses was because they were very creative. So then the same set of 5-year-olds, they tested them again at 10, and that 80% dropped down to like 30%. They tested them again as teenagers, and that dropped down to about, I think, 10%. And then by adulthood, that percentage of sort of creativity, that genius, dropped down to 0. So creativeness, being creative and imaginative isn't something we learn, isn't something we're taught, it's something we instinctively know because it's already happening. It is our true nature. And through society, we unlearn it. We learn to fit into a box of, this is a lawyer and this is a journalist and this is what it is to be a psychologist and this is what it is to be a teacher. And we're confined to this box to the point that the sense of being creative and creating something doesn't come naturally to us anymore. But when we decide to sort of curve away from society and realize our true potential and realize that there is this creative magical power within all of us as a natural state of being, then we unleash this potential. So everything that's happening in your life now, everything up until this point right now, you created it. And that is such an empowering realization. Because you created it, you can uncreate it. You can knock the Lego tower down and with those same pieces or get brand new ones, and you can build something again. You could build something brand new, completely different, and just, out the park, miraculous and amazing. So with I am statements, it's again the same with the contract. It's feeling into those words. It's deeply feeling into what they feel like. What do you look like when you are genuinely living those words, living your own creation, your conscious creation, because you've already been living your unconscious creation. And given that you found this video, I'm guessing you're not totally happy with where your life is at. And so you've got nothing to lose. If up until this point you're not happy with what's already been created, then all that can happen from now, from experimenting and getting curious and making a soul contract and I am statements, all that can happen is that your life gets better and better. And it isn't take my word for it, believe everything I'm saying. Absolutely not. It's challenge me, ask me questions. If there's something that doesn't sit right, ask me a question and I will make another video based on that question. And I will do my best to answer it, because this is universal. This goes across the board. Everything I'm talking about, maybe not the way you do it, but the foundations of this conversation will revolutionize your life, your mind, your world. So just some examples of I am statements. I've written, I am a magical, miraculous being. I am one with the divine. I am deserving of love and good things. I am that I came here on purpose to have a human experience. I am free to be me, always. I am that I have a choice. I am that I always have a choice, especially when it seems like I don't. I am created in the image of God. I am the allness of everything. I am no thing. I am but a drop in the ocean. I am also the entire ocean. I am a beacon of light for myself, my family, my friends, my clients, and everyone who crosses my path. I am that I see the world and all things as the image of God. I am that I see God everywhere and in everyone. I am focused, I am calm, I am kind, I am love. And when I first wrote these words, I did feel into them, and I wrote them, and then I forgot about them for a while. And just coming back to them and just reading them now, there is this deep sense of relaxation. And I believe those words I've written. I know those words. It's more than just the words that are on the page. I can truly know that I am a magical, miraculous being. And so are you. So whatever words work for you, whatever way works for you, find it and do it to your heart's content. And this isn't a coping mechanism. It isn't to get you sort of, let me word this. It isn't like, do this thing, do these soul contract, do the soul contract, do the I am statements, and you will never feel sad or unhappy again, or angry or frustrated. No, that is absolutely not where I'm going, because everything that is explained within this spiritual understanding, everything that I am beginning to understand more and more deeply, is that all of these, like this I am statement here says it all. I am that I came here on purpose to have a human experience. Now, human experience, as I know it right now, as it stands, means all those emotions, means the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So when we're having a human experience, oh, I'm happy, life is great, we don't question it. We don't, why am I so happy all the time? We don't ask that question. What's wrong with you? You're happy. But then when we go to the other side of the human experience, still the human experience, we go to sadness or anger or frustration. We question it. Why am I feeling this way? And the only answer for that is, or maybe a two-part answer, is that you're human, so you're having a human experience that isn't very pleasant. And where your feelings are coming from is thought in the moment. Your feelings, your experience is coming from the thinking that you're having in that moment. And thinking, it passes all by itself. If we just let it passes. It floats on by like a cloud in the sky. If we just leave it alone to do its thing, it is a natural system, like the reproduction system, like the weather system, the respiratory system, breathing. That word always trips me up. So it's all of these systems that we have in nature. We already have these systems in nature, and we are an integral part of nature. And so there has to be a system within us, our psychological system, that is a self-correcting system. So, you know, when we're burnt out from work and we're just going, we get ill because it's the self-correcting of you've done too much, you need to stop and start again, you need to recharge. Or, you know, whatever it is, if we're feeling angry and frustrated, then you've gone too far in a different sense, maybe not physically, but mentally. You're driving yourself mad, basically. So when we're feeling angry and frustrated, all it is an indication to come back to the center, come back to your foundations, come back to what you know is true. Find out what is true. Is it true that we live in a thought-created reality? Is that true for you? Do you know that that's where your feelings come from? And is that true for you? And either way, whether it's not true for you or it is true for you, those are both perfect. You're still going to have a human experience. You're still going to feel happy sometimes and you're still going to feel not happy sometimes. Nothing changes. You know, what path you follow, whether you're, you know, whatever spiritual, religious, or whatever path you follow in this human life, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's your human experience. I'm just here to tell you the behind the scenes. You know, this is what's happening behind the scenes of a human experience. Come take a look. This is what's happening. If you're interested, you can listen. You can make a soul contract. You can write I am statements. You can feel into becoming more a conscious creator, because you're already a creator, but it's consciously creating. It's deliberately, on purpose, creating a life of love, peace, and freedom. So it's asking yourselves these questions. What do I believe about life? What do I believe about myself? What do I believe about thoughts? You know, you can really take all of this is about taking the time to rediscover and uncover who you are, what you deeply know is true, and what you're unsure about. And the best part of all of this is that you can't get it wrong, that being in this conversation is a way of committing for yourself. It's making that deep commitment that you're going to ensure that you're feeding your mind good things. You're feeding your mind something that is going to help you and ensure that you're continuing on this spiritual journey, that you're feeding your mind positive things that enhance your spiritual growth. You know, that doesn't hinder it, that enhances your spiritual growth. It's like a garden. If you've got weeds in the garden, it's going to hinder your garden. It's going to ruin your pretty roses and your sunflowers. So if you gently, you know, pull out the weeds one by one, then eventually your garden is going to be flourishing. But then, you know, sometimes pulling the weeds out one by one isn't enough, because some weeds are like really rooted down, so you need to really pull the weeds from the roots. And it's the same with our, you know, ego thinking or unhelpful thinking, that we get into these states of I can't, or I'm not good enough, or nobody loves me, and we get into these sort of negative self-talk, and those are the weeds in our mind. And once we start to recondition our minds and implement different vocabulary, like I can, and, you know, or I don't want to. It's not something that I enjoy. So right now I don't want to, instead of I can't. And realizing how powerful I am is and the words that we speak. There was this poem I saw that said something along the lines of, what if every word you uttered was tattooed permanently on your skin? Would you then be careful what you say? And that deeply touched me to my core. Because imagine if every word that came out of your mouth was tattooed on your skin instantly. So those words would just be permanently there. And that is kind of what happens with our soul and in this human experience as well. Although it isn't totally permanent, because we're creative beings and we've got the power behind life guiding us and helping us. It's infinite. This power is infinite, and while we're human, we're here to play. So we might as well play to our heart's content, have fun, do things that we enjoy, break down the Lego tower that we don't like and start again. Just build something different. And if you don't like those bricks, get new ones. If the tower you built is a hate tower, just rearrange it into a tower of love. And it can seem really difficult at first to do something like this, but like I've said in previous videos, it's really just laying down that foundation and building from there, because once you've got that foundation, it's solid, it isn't going anywhere. And so you've got somewhere to come back to, that you've got that solid ground. It can't be broken, it can't be destroyed, it's there. And that main bit of the foundation is knowing that you are love, peace, and wisdom. And you are the power to create the illusion that you are not. And so in that space from knowing that, from deeply, truly knowing that you are love, peace, and wisdom, and you are so powerful that you can trick yourself into believing that you're not those things. That is just mind-blowing. Now, if that doesn't mean that we are miraculous, magical beings, then I don't know what does. So it's just, it blows my mind when I talk about this, and when these words come out of my mouth, and when I talk in this way, in this conversation, there is a feeling inside me that is beyond the words. That's like, yes, Rebecca, you're doing the right thing. Yes. Even if nobody watches this or just one person is watching this, I'm doing this for me. I can feel myself lighting up from the inside out. I can feel my I am statements, my contract, just all of it just lighting up. The commitment I've made for me is lighting up from the inside out. And that's what this conversation is about. This conversation is about you and your journey, you and your commitment, you and your I am statements, you and your spiritual journey, you and your life, your human experience, your spiritual being, your soul, your essence. That's what this conversation is truly about. That's the foundation that I am landing on here. I think that is a beautiful place to end, because any more words will just ruin this magical feeling that is in the air, in my heart and in my soul. So I hope this touched you in a way that it has touched my soul. And if there is any questions, feel free to comment below this video or email me, and I will be sure to answer it, and I can do another video based on your question. These Staying in the Conversation videos are every 2 weeks. So today is the 25th of May 2024. So in another 2 weeks from today, it'll be a Wednesday. Not entirely sure the date, but it'll be a Wednesday 2 weeks from today, 14 days. And it will just carry on like that. Every 14 days, every 2 weeks, until further notice. I also have a WhatsApp group. If you'd like to be part of that, let me know, and I can put the details below this video if that is helpful. Okay, all the best now, and see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye for now.